If you're having a dispute with your employer, mediation or arbitration could be the answer. They're both private forms of resolving a problem. Christy recently sat down with attorney Jim Higgins to find out more. Take a look.
Jim, thank you so much for being with us today.
Sure.
Now, first of all, we are talking about ADR. What does that stand for? What is that?
Well, it's alternative dispute resolution.
And what does that mean?
Well, it is an alternative to going to court and having a trial. And probably in the past 10 years, we've seen this kind of explosion in the cases that we handle in my office on ADR. And most people know it as either mediation or arbitration. And of course, our office does a lot of kind of catastrophic injury cases, personal injury cases, and work comp cases. And those are cases that are really kind of ripe for ADR a lot of times.
And what's the difference between mediation and arbitration?
Sure. There's a big difference. And the mediation is a non-binding opportunity for people to go sit together in a room or in opposite rooms, but in the same building. And we hire someone, maybe sometimes we've hired retired judges, we've hired other lawyers that we both sides respect, and that mediator comes in and tries to help us find some middle ground. And I think the great thing about that is as a advocate, when I'm representing somebody, you know, we are doing all we can to fight for that person, as is my opponent. So a lot of times that keeps us from talking to each other about a good civil compromise. And this is a chance for us to hire someone to see if he can help us find some middle ground without my office, their office, feeling like they're backing down at all. And it's a great thing. It's not binding. It helps my client know what an outside third person thinks of the case, the strengths, the weaknesses, and we're able to resolve a lot of the cases there.
And you don't have to go to trial?
Not if you resolve it at mediation.
And what kind of cases, you kind of touched on it, do you use mediation, especially in the workplace?
Well, a lot of the cases we use now are injury cases, a lot of car accident cases we mediate now. I've mediated medical malpractice cases. You know, the higher damage cases, the more emotional cases, and you know, with an office like ours that handles just a few of these kind of high-end, high-damage cases, we mediate a good bit of them. You know, and it's something I always talk to my client about as, hey, I think it's a good opportunity for us to do this. It'll help us learn more about our case. It may help us resolve this before we go through a trial, which is expensive, which is time-consuming, which is draining. You know, it is hard to see my families go through a trial a lot of times and relive an accident or a wrongful death. And so we encourage it. It's ultimately my client's decision. And you know, sometimes we go in there and we resolve it and we're able to put this case behind them. Sometimes we don't. We walk out and we just move forward towards trial.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jim, for the information.
Sure. Thank you.
The Higgins Firm is serving Tennessee. Give them a call at 615-353-0930, or for more info and a link to their website, higginsfirm.com, go to the More at Midday section of WSMV.com.